WESH 2 News starts now with breaking news.
My heart aches for her family and her friends and her loved ones, but what we can do now is, provide justice for this family.
The accused killer of a 13-year-old girl is now in jail, and this is our first look at Rose Dejoux. She was killed on the 4th of July, and we're now finding out the tragic details of her death. Today, the Orange County Sheriff said that Rose was violently attacked by a man she did not know.
WESH 2's Senait Gebrigadigas is live at the Sheriff's Office, and Senait, investigators say they found Rose in a utility closet at an apartment complex.
Yeah, this is truly an awful story. Deputies say they found the girl in a closet at an apartment complex where she lived on South Rio Grande Avenue. The sheriff says the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is helping with the investigation and is working to confirm if Rose was sexually assaulted. But he says when they found her, there were signs that she was sexually abused. They also say Doris May has a criminal record of child abuse, which we are working to comb through right now so we can bring you more details about what investigators are learning. Live in Orange County, Senait Gebrigadigas, WESH 2 News.
And stay with WESH 2 News on air and online as we continue to follow the latest in this case. A little later at 4 o'clock, we will take a closer look at the suspect in this case, including his previous criminal history, which Senait mentioned that she's working to get more details on right now. Well, new evidence shows 2 cars were driving from the place where the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto's body was dumped in Osceola County.
We're going from one really tough story to another here. Yeah, WESH 2's Bob Hazen reports both of those cars came from the apartment complex where Maddie lived with her mom and the man accused of killing her.
All right, we're a little bit drier this afternoon, so we have that to look forward to.
Look who's here.
I know, that's the other thing too.
This is a special noon. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi tracking the day for us.
All right, guys, let's take a look at what's going on. A little bit less Saharan dust out there and a little bit less storm coverage. Temperatures right now at the noon hour still quite warm. We're in the upper 80s to the lower 90s. And the reason for the lower amount of Saharan dust today is we've got that little area of low pressure off the Carolina coast pulling in. Somewhat drier air today. We're not going to be rain-free, but the air mass is going to be a little bit drier, and the air quality on top of things is also going to be a little bit better. Not perfect. Still watching the Sanford area and the West Coast, but bottom line for me, is we get one push of dust that's down to the south. We'll watch another burst here on Monday, and then another burst potentially by the middle of next week. So plenty of things to watch here from the Saharan dust standpoint. A lot of folks asking me about that. Closer to home, we take a look at the radar. Things are fairly quiet out there right now. We do have some offshore showers, but overall, the story this afternoon is going to be the building heat. That's going to be sticking around right through the upcoming weekend. Look at the feels like temperatures now at the noon hour, 95 to 100. So as we get you through the afternoon, showers and storms will develop, more numerous though off towards the south. And as we head into the upcoming weekend, things are going to change. I'll explain why in just a couple minutes. But for your Friday night plans, guys, I think you're going to be in really good shape.
All right, Tony, thank you. Well, it's official. Kids and young teens will be under a curfew in Flagler Beach. The city passed the ordinance unanimously. This means anyone under the age of 16 will not be allowed out at night on their own between 11 and 5 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and midnight 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. on weekends. So the first violation will result in a warning, but doing it again will lead to fines.
There's a rabies alert for Marion County this afternoon after a dead cat tested positive for the disease. The state health department says the rabies was found in a cat that was killed in the Reddick area on Wednesday. The department says Marion County's rabies alert is in effect for 2 months within the boundaries of Northwest 125th Street to Northwest 110th Street to the south, I-75 to the east, and County Road 225 A to the west. Officials say to stay away from wild animals.
Dog owners hoping to bring their pets into the country will have to meet a new set of requirements. So starting August 1st, 3 new CDC guidelines will go into effect. Dogs must be at least 6 months old, have a microchip, and have CDC dog import forms. 2 previous requirements for border crossings will remain in effect. That's proof of rabies documentation and a visibly healthy appearance. Now, some are saying these new guidelines could cause problems for dog breeders who do business internationally. It may also create a backlog of paperwork for regulators. Well, volunteers are honoring some of our fallen heroes this weekend. On Sunday, they will place American flags at the headstones of each first responder and veteran that sacrificed their lives. They'll do this at Highland Memory Gardens. That's the cemetery where Apopka firefighter Austin Duran is buried. He died in 2022 after suffering an injury on the job. They're going to need about 100 volunteers for this, so we do have information on WESH.com on how you can get involved if you can.
All right, President Biden wanted to shut down his critics by hosting a rare press conference, but a lot of analysts think that he may have made things worse. NBC's Peter Alexander shows us what Biden said and did that's getting a lot of attention. All right, you can get soda from a vending machine, and pretty soon you can get bullets too. Why a company wants to bring ammo vending machines to our state. Plus,
welcome to Florida. You may miss a change to the iconic highway signs. Why some say this small one-word change has some big political implications.
Oh, but first, it's Friday, and y'all know what that means. It's our favorite part of the week, where we get to introduce you to a special pet that is ready for adoption. Caesar's walking around the newsroom right now. We cannot wait to introduce you to him.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Injured? Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
With WESH 2 News, you're at the center of breaking news.
That's because we tell the stories that matter to you.
We know how valuable your time is.
So our time is spent on accurate reporting.
We'll bring you more when we know more.
Bringing you the information you need to know. Alerting you to all that's happening in Central Florida. So you can trust when a story breaks.
We will be there for you.
Stuart Moore and Summer Knowles, weeknights at 6 and 11 on WESH 2 News. Local, live, late breaking. This is Tony. He's your chief meteorologist and Central Florida's most accurate.
No matter the forecast, I'm always watching your weather.
From sunny skies to stormy afternoons, trust Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi and WESH 2 First Warning Weather.
All right, we are back. It is Friday, and we have been keeping our promise of keeping the shelters here in Central Florida clear and finding forever homes for pets. Like Caesar, we're joined by our friends from the Orange County Animal Services today with another WESH to the rescue. And Bryant, tell us a little bit more about Caesar. All right, thank you guys so much for being here. Get Caesar adopted. Come on, somebody get this dog adopted. Nancy and Tony, I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
All right, thank you guys. Let's make it happen, Central Florida. Caesar, he's so cute. All right, well, a special edition of the News at Noon with this guy here.
I'm no Caesar. He's got the room.
Well, thanks for joining us, Tony. Let's talk about this nice Friday ahead.
It's not bad. The air quality is a little bit better. We don't have as much Saharan dust. And look at this view outside right now, Nancy. Not bad. Looking shot over the city. Beautiful. If you have plans this Friday evening, there'll be a few showers and storms around, but overall, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. Let's take a look now. Some of those temperatures outside. We're 89, Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Melbourne. We're in the lower 90s now. DeLand, the Village is already up to 93 degrees. Let's take a look at that water vapor channel. This area of low pressure we've been watching the last couple of days is about to come ashore on the North-South Carolina border. And what it's doing is pulling in some drier air and forcing that thicker Saharan dust over towards South Florida. Now, we haven't scoured out all of it, so you still may get some pretty sunsets here. And we'll get a couple showers and storms. Speaking of which, right now, most of the activity is along Interstate 75 southwest of Sumter County and well off the east coast there of Central Florida. So let's take a look now at the next 12 hours from now through right about midnight tonight. You can see about 93, 94 degrees. For the most part, I think the metro areas are going to be rain-free. I think the best chances for rain today are going to be in our southern communities because of how things have unfolded here over the last 24 to 48 hours, and maybe a push back towards Cocoa Beach and Port Canaveral there for mid-evening. But other than that, I think we're going to be in really good shape. Heading into the weekend, storm chances are going to go up a little bit more on Saturday and then begin to increase even higher as we get you on into Sunday afternoon. But notice the storms don't get going into the metro areas until after 3, 4 o'clock. May linger for a couple of hours. So if you've got an outdoor party going on, just know that early in the afternoon you're okay. later on in the day, things are going to change. Now, speaking of change, look at Sunday. Flow has changed. Storms are going to move from the east coast back towards the west coast by mid to late afternoon. Some of the rains will be a little bit heavier along 75, not 95 on the back end of the weekend. 2-day storm coverage here as we head into the weekend. There will be pockets of 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches of rain, typical with those slow-moving daily afternoon showers in stores. The heat today, they're going to be up around 94 in town, 95 the villages, 92 back towards Titusville, meaning that heat is more of a concern today and building as we head into the upcoming weekend. In fact, take a look at the feels like temperatures today. This may be a bit on the conservative side. We may actually be running 103, 104. 12-hour forecast for Daytona Beach as we get you into the afternoon. If you're at the beaches there, keep an eye on the sky. Showers and thunderstorms will get going, and the rip risk is going to stay on the moderate side, so please swim near those lifeguards. All right, let's take a look at futurecast for early next week. Trough of low pressure to the north, little wave going by to the south. This is our typical summertime pattern. Those daily afternoon showers and thunderstorms will indeed get going. Rainfall chances again are going to be normal at about 50 to 60%. So we're not really worried about this particular piece of energy as it lifts to the north, but we will take a look at the tropics coming up here in the next half hour. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, rainfall chances going up Sunday to about 60%. Notice those afternoon highs stuck at right around 93 to 95.
All right, we are counting down to the Summer Olympics.
Yeah, in just 2 weeks, Team USA will be making our country proud. How the athletes are shifting to a post-trials preparation mode to get ready for the biggest competitions of their lives.
Michelle Imperato on WESH 2 News.
We are just 2 weeks away from the start of the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. Nearly 600 athletes across 31 different sports will be sporting the red, white, and blue. The athletes range as young as 16 years old to 60, with 32 of them being teenagers. They come from 46 out of the 51 states, with Maine, North Dakota, West Virginia, and Wyoming being the only ones not sending anyone. The state sending the most athletes, California.
60-year-olds going to the Olympics, and I'm complaining about my knees during the dog segment. Okay, some of Team USA's members are representing Central Florida, and 2 of them got a hero's send-off from the Apopka community last night. Olympian Donald Scott hopes to win the gold in the triple jump competition.
Every member of Team USA are in post-trials preparation mode right now.
Yeah, Mark Barger shows us how the athletes are getting mentally and physically ready to represent USA. The men's basketball team is also getting ready. They beat Canada in an exhibition game on Wednesday, and they will play Australia this coming Monday. All right, we are getting a look at some of the the venues for handball, volleyball, table tennis. There we go. I got this. Temporary fields of play have been set up in the Paris Expo in the Porte de Versailles exhibition hall. The arena is set to welcome up to 80,000 visitors every day for this competition, with 4 Olympic sports and 3 Paralympic events happening there. All right, keep in mind, WESH 2 is your home for all things Olympics. You can cheer for Team USA when Stuart Moore and Michelle Imperato host our WESH 2 News Olympic Zone live from Universal Orlando Resort. It all starts after the opening ceremony on July 27th. Again, we're just 2 weeks away.
Exciting stuff. Way to recover, too.
Yes, thank you.
I got you, though.
I appreciate it. See, this is the team, their teams, everybody is rallying. All right, blink and you'll miss it. There is a slight change to those Welcome to Florida signs on I-95.
Yeah, if you can read closely, you'll notice a word has been added. Why this slight change is raising some eyebrows across our state.
Plus, buying bullets from vending machines. Why one company wants to install these machines at grocery stores across Florida.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Injured? Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
All right, we've got some new details about the grant applications for the My Safe Florida Home program.
Right now, there is a backlog of applications that has been going on since last fall. Florida's chief financial officer has been advocating for more funding to get through those applications. The program, which pays for storm-related home upgrades, can help 20,000 mostly low and moderate income homeowners cut property insurance costs. Applications from people 60 and older will be handled first. The wait list for public housing options in Orlando will open on Monday. The program provides income-based housing owned by the Orlando Housing Authority. Now, the public housing pre-application process starts just after midnight on Monday. The wait list will remain open until 11:59 Wednesday night. In the wake of a major blow to the arts community in Florida, many nonprofits are facing collateral damage. A national study that measures economic impact from arts and culture shows that it's one of the top 5 major contributors to Florida's economy. Some local groups say the state's funding cuts will impact everything from education for our kids to jobs. Central Florida Community Arts now asking for help covering financial challenges. You can read a letter they sent out to the community and find out how to support them by going to our website. That letter is at WESH.com.
Well, every single elementary school in Port Orange will now have someone directing traffic during the drop-off and pickup periods. It's part of an effort to keep the kids safe after a deadly accident that happened at the end of the school year. The city is also installing new signs at all pedestrian crossings and removing trees to help visibility for parents that are driving into the school. All of these changes will be in place in time for the upcoming school year, which begins exactly a month from today on August 12th.
Yeah, my gosh. All right. If you don't look hard enough, you may miss the change to the iconic Welcome to Florida highway signs that let drivers know they're entering the Sunshine State. The difference isn't huge, but it's raising some eyebrows due to the politically charged implication of the wording. So the word free was recently added to the sign, reading, "Welcome to the free state of Florida." It's a popular slogan with Governor Ron DeSantis, but with drivers, well, there's a mixed reaction.
I think the politics needs to stay out of it. Just say welcome to Florida.
I don't know, but I felt that I was in a free state for quite a long time.
While it might only be a road sign, it's kind of also a sign of the times that it doesn't take a lot to spur political discussion, even during a drive on the interstate. All right, milk, eggs, and pretty soon, a case of bullets, all for sale at your local grocery store.
Now, the maker of ammo vending machines says that he wants to install these machines here in Florida. Amber Raub explains how the company plans to keep these machines safe and secure. The ammo vending machines have already been installed in grocery stores in Alabama, Oklahoma, and Texas. All right, federal highway safety officials want people who drive used cars to check their airbags. Now, we told you yesterday about a couple of airbag recalls that either won't deploy or the inflators explode. The agency says cheap, substandard replacement airbag inflators were tied to 3 deaths and 2 life-changing injuries just within the past year. So if you drive a used car, check your vehicle's history report. If the car has been in a crash, make sure you have a mechanic inspect those airbags to make sure that the replacement parts are legit.
A Florida vacation turned into a nightmare for a family. 8 people were staying at an Airbnb in Destin when they were woken up by exploding glass. In seconds, the home went up in flames. While everyone made it out okay, they say the smoke detectors in the house didn't work. Their only option was to find a way out for them and their daughters.
The only thing we could do was shove them out on the balcony and try to figure out the safest way to get them down.
So the family ended up losing all of their belongings. Investigators are working to figure out exactly what caused the fire. Wow. All right, a valuable lesson that could save someone's life. Performing hands-only CPR doubles or triples someone's chance of survival from a cardiac arrest. More than 100 Action Church members will be getting training in hands-only CPR and AED use this weekend.
4 weeks after a Chicago woman was reported missing in the Bahamas, her family is hopeful that she's okay.
The agony is practically killing me. And not just me, your whole family, your friends, and all of your associates.
It's heartbreaking. The push for answers and any clue that could bring Taylor Casey home for her 42nd birthday. Tony?
And right now things are fairly quiet in the tropics. A look across the tropical Atlantic shows a wave here coming into the Windward Isles and a little disturbance off our coast. I'll let you know if any of these has any chance of developing, all straight ahead. What does Central Florida's most accurate forecast look like?
It's rising before the sun to go through the models. It's forecasting changes to help you plan with confidence. It's keeping you updated as severe storms move through, from sunny skies to stay inside.
At WESH 2, we understand Central Florida weather.
That's why WESH 2 First Warning Weather is certified the most accurate 17 years in a row by WeatherRate. This is what accuracy looks like, and it's only on WESH 2 News.
Thrill makers in Paris. Gretchen Walsh first made a splash in the pool in Greenwich, Connecticut before moving to Nashville as a teen. She then found her lane at the University of Virginia, becoming a swimming sensation.
She did it! 25.11, new American record.
Now she's closing in on Paris Gold. The Paris Olympics, brought to you locally on NBC by Nissan, supporting college athletics across the country.
It has now been 4 weeks since a Chicago woman was reported missing from a yoga retreat in the Bahamas.
Her family continues pushing for answers in hopes of her return on her 42nd birthday. Lexi Sutter has the desperate plea for information. The family has been calling for the U.S. to intervene in the investigation, saying authorities in the Bahamas are not handling her case correctly.
Well, it is the end of an era for the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah, the famous skyline is changing. How the most popular hotel and casino is going out with a bang before closing its doors for good.
First Warning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Daytona Lagoon.
All right, the iconic Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas is closing after 35 years.
But first, it must hand out around $1.6 million in cash and prizes. That's a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
NBC's Morgan Chesky explains why.
The owners say that the new Hard Rock Hotel will add 600 more rooms and a swimming pool. No word yet on what will happen to the Mirage volcano, but going up in its place is a giant guitar that will be right on the Vegas Strip. That grand opening is sometime in 2027, so we'll have to see.
I bet that guy has a lot more stories.
Oh, you know all this stuff?
Right?
Yeah, he probably saw a lot of celebrities, not just those two.
That could have been 3 hours long. Right, exactly. That's why. Just keep it simple. Okay. All right, Tony, nice to have you this afternoon. Let's get outside. It's nice out.
It is nice. It's, we don't have as much of that Saharan dust. The air quality is a little bit better. We'll have a couple of late day storms, but really overall coverage today is going to be a little bit lower. Let's take a look now at those temperatures outside. As you can see, up north, Palm Coast 90, 93 already in the Villages, and 89 on into Kissimmee. We take a look at that satellite radar loop, and you can see that little area of low pressure we've been monitoring, not expected to develop now. Way too much wind shear around it, but what it will likely do up north is bring some enhanced rainfall to the Carolinas. What it's doing for us today, and the European computer model did a good job with that late last week, it's bringing in drier air your Friday afternoon. Now, we won't be rain-free. Difficult to do that when you're in the heart of your summer wet season here, but we'll watch the drier regime move in, at least temporarily. 101 the Villages, 101 is what it feels like in St. Cloud, and 100 is what it feels like in Palm Bay. Let's take a look at futurecast here. Best rain chances this afternoon and evening are going to be pretty much south of the 408. And then back towards Brevard County, we forge our way into Saturday morning. Things are nice and quiet. Early afternoon, nice and quiet. We get after the noon hour now, and here come those showers and those thunderstorms from the I-4 corridor back towards Interstate 75. Things just kind of raining themselves out by mid-evening. On Sunday, the flow and the pattern is a little bit different. We're going to be going quickly from the east towards the west, back towards Interstate 75. That's where we think the heavier showers and thunderstorms will be towards the back end of the weekend. 2-day rainfall totals, though, initially we get it here through the interior, and then the push is back towards the western side on Sunday. And some of those slower moving thunderstorms we can easily pick up 2, 3, even 4 inches of rain. It's all about the heat, though, not just this afternoon, but right into the upcoming weekend. We'll be running 92 to about 95 degrees. Heat risk today is going up. Tomorrow it's going to be even greater. And as we head through the next couple of days here, let me show you the overall pattern. You can see 102 to 104, 107-ish Sunday, Monday, and then coming down a little bit towards early next week. So slow down and take it easy if you got those outdoor activities planned for this upcoming weekend. Melbourne, let's take a look at your forecast forecast for this afternoon. A lot of clouds around, but not a whole lot of rain until mid-evening. Could be 1 or 2 isolated storms as we get closer to 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And if your game today is the attractions, isolated showers and storms, it's more about you protecting yourself from the sun's ultraviolet rays and the heat. Stay hydrated. There's our little disturbance here. Not expected to develop, but will bring some rain to the Carolinas. In the tropics, the Caribbean, we've got one wave coming at us late Sunday night, Monday. But overall here, when you take a look at the tropical Atlantic going forward, no real huge signal of anything trying to develop, at least through the 19th of July. Got another wave here that we'll continue to monitor by the 20th of July. Let's put it all together now. 7-day forecast. Lower rainfall coverage today going up as we head into the weekend. Storm coverage then running at about 60% come Sunday.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Injured? Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
All right, nearly all AT&T customers have been impacted by a massive breach. The telecom company says the compromised data includes millions of customers' phone numbers. However, they say personal information and the contents of their calls or texts were not exposed. AT&T has promised to notify all those affected. At least one person has been arrested for this breach.
SpaceX's most prolific launch vehicle had a rare failure during a routine mission last night in California. Falcon 9 rocket attempted to launch a batch of Starlink satellites. The mission looked like it was going smoothly at first, but the rocket's second stage booster failed. SpaceX doesn't know why this happened. The satellites were still able to be deployed into orbit, but they may not last as long because they didn't make it deep enough into orbit.
Well, some innovative high school students from California have just come up. Firefighters endure scorching temperatures.
Cornell Bernard shows us the smart device keeping firefighters cool on the job. All right, coming up on WESH 2 News at 4, team coverage of the arrest of a man accused of murdering a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, a really tough story today. The tragic new details we're finding out, including the background of the man charged with killing her.
Plus, a film with a lot of ties to Central Florida is now in theaters. How NASA worked with filmmakers on the movie that include a mission to fake the moon landing.
We'll see you again this afternoon at 4.
What's happening now and what's next? This is the news that matters to you, and it's right here at 5. Michelle Imperato, Jesse Pagan, and First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. WESH 2 News at 5. Local, live, late breaking.